I think it's safe to say that Mega Evolution is the fan favorite gimmick. Not only do some of our favorite Pokemon have Mega Evolution forms, but also it's filled with so much lore. But what if I told you that the Pokemon Company very well might be trying to retcon some of that lore? Specifically, a very big piece of lore that talks about what it does to the Pokemon. We're going to talk all about it today. Welcome back to the post where we talk about all things Pokemon. Today we're going to be talking about how Pokemon is retconning a crucial part of Mega Evolution lore. Now, before we get into this theory, I do want to say that in order to cover it, in order to provide evidence that they might be retconning it, we have to talk about some spoilers from the Pokemon Horizons anime. We're going to be talking about where we're at up to Japan, nothing from like the Terra Leak or anything like that, but just where we're at in the Japanese version of the show, not the English dub. So just final spoiler warning for those of you. Save this video for later and come back to it once you're all caught up. Okay, with that out of the way, let's talk about the Mega Evolution lore. So Mega Evolution was introduced in Generation 6, and it's set up as this process that allows a Pokemon that typically can't evolve, like Charizard or Lucario, to actually evolve. This evolution is temporary though, unlike other evolution. But then in Gen 7 and Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon specifically, or no, Pokemon Sun and Moon as well, we got some more lore to this. And that was kind of some dark lore. We found out from a lot of Pokedex entries that this process hurts the Pokemon, like really, really badly. Like Mega Gyarados, it just completely enrages it. We find out about Mega Glalie, its jaw, snapping off and it causing it tremendous pain. Now, many people saw this at a time this kind of was not very well received by fans. It kind of got some mixed reception. Some people saw it as like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Like I said, if you look at Mega Glalie's design, you can see that its jaw snapped off. If you watch the anime, you can see that Karina's Lucario kind of goes berserk when it Mega Evolves. So, the lore was kind of always a little bit there, but definitely hearing this just outright was kind of jarring. And a lot of people kind of saw this as Pokemon's way of retconning Mega Evolution to ultimately get rid of it, which they kind of did do. I mean, in Generation 7, while Mega Evolution was present, the primary focus of these games were on Z-moves. And then the next generation, with Pokemon Sword and Shield, we moved on to Dynamax, and Mega Evolution was nowhere to be seen in any Generation 8 game. And then in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, we move on to Terrestrial, and again, Mega Evolution is not present. It's only now, with the return of Legends EA, that we're going to see Mega Evolution come back to the fold for the first time since the Gen 7 games Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. Do I think that they were attempting to just kind of retcon Mega Evolution completely? I don't know. I could see this actually being... I don't think that they were looking to scrap Mega Evolution completely. I think they knew they'd always probably come back to it one day. Even if Legends games weren't planned at this point, which I don't think they were, I imagine that they kind of thought, well, someday we'll do X and Y remakes. And you can't do X and Y remakes without doing Mega Evolution. Also, it is so beloved, there's no way that they'd scrap it completely. So I don't think they were looking to get rid of Mega Evolution, but I do think they were looking to kind of undersell it a little bit to kind of create some hype for Z-moves and kind of make fans prefer Z-moves. Similar to how, if you notice, there's this pattern with like the anime where they'll have a past companion return only to be defeated by the current companion, right? Like in Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, May returns only to lose to Dawn in the Wallace Cup. Then Dawn returns in Pokemon Black and White to lose to Iris in the World Tournament Juniors Cup or whatever. It's something that they do. And I think that this is what they were kind of doing with Z-moves and Mega Evolution here. But now with Mega Evolution returning, it makes sense that they'd want to hype this gimmick up again. And of course, we're seeing it return in Legends EA, we're seeing it return in Pokemon Champions, we're seeing it return to the TCG even, but it's also returned to the anime, as in it's here prominently. It actually never left the anime, but it's here prominently in the anime right now. The current arc in Japan is called Mega Voltage, and one of the main characters, Roy, has a Mega Lucario. Another new main character, his name is Ult, has a Mega Sableye, and each episode they kind of will at the end show off a new Mega Evolution. It's very clearly super Mega focused. But what's the plot of this series? Well, the plot is that basically it takes place a year after the previous part of Pokemon Horizons, and they're dealing with a new device called Loquium Spheres. Loquium Spheres are made by the villainous company Exceed, and they power up a Pokemon tremendously, like so much so that Water Gun is looking like Hyper Beam. But on the flip side, it's also causing a lot of pain to the Pokemon. We see how Pokemon in the wild affected by Loquium are kind of going berserk and seem to be in pain. We see how a Swanna that takes it kind of crashes out completely after a match, and Garganacl, it kind of makes his body start to crack. So this is set up as a bad thing, and that's the whole plot, is that the heroes are trying to show the world, hey, these Loquium Spheres are like super bad for your Pokemon, and they're trying to, you know, kind of prove their innocence by showing how bad these things are, despite the company passing it off as just a good mechanic like any other gimmick. But of course, like I said, 2 of the main characters are using Mega Evolution, and I wouldn't be surprised if the others end up getting them at some point. I mean, we already know there's a Rayquaza in the fold, so Mega Rayquaza, I think, is like totally going to happen at some point on the show. So why do this? Why set up all of this stuff to fight Loquium, but you're fighting it with a gimmick that does the same thing as far as we know? I mean, Loquium makes the Pokemon go berserk. Okay, well, Mega Evolution makes the Pokemon go berserk. Okay, well, Loquium causes the Pokemon a lot of pain. Alright, well, for a lot of these Mega Evolutions, it causes the Pokemon a lot of pain. So I think that what we're seeing here is a retcon to this lore about Mega Evolution. And they might keep it for some specific Pokemon. Again, like Glalie, it just kind of makes sense. His jaw's snapping off. There's no way that feels good. But I do think overall, we might see this. And we'll know by Legends EA. Very likely in Pokemon Legends EA, we will get Pokedex entries for these Mega Evolutions. And it'll be interesting to see if they detail how painful the process is for the Pokemon. Also, too, the story will probably have Mega Evolution prominently featured, so we'll probably get more lore like from character dialogue, and we'll hear if it's actually causing the Pokemon a lot of pain. I don't know, though. Let me know what you think. Do you think that they might be moving away from this whole Mega Evolution is painful for the Pokemon? And if you think that they are keeping it, you know, the same, like, oh, Mega Evolution is still super painful, then do me a favor and defend what the protagonists are doing in Pokemon Horizons. Because, again, they're combating a gimmick that causes the Pokemon pain by using a gimmick that causes the Pokemon pain. And they're saying that's bad. Anyways, Lucario, Mega Evolve. You see the hypocrisy there. Let me know what you think of this. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, all that fun stuff so you don't miss our future videos. And until next time, I will see all of you later.